Good afternoon, ladies and gentlemen. Hope y'all are all having a wonderful afternoon on this lovely Wednesday. Boy, I don't know about where y'all were at, but up in North Texas, like north of Dallas, boy, it came a pour down. I mean, it was raining cats and dogs there for a little bit. Man, but hey, always good for some rain. Cool things down, that's for sure. I had to turn down my AC. Not complaining here. Well, today I don't have no news stories or anything, but I was driving around today and got to thinking, you have all these like male influencers and stuff, and you know, they're all about be a man, like an alpha man, and what all entails in being a real man, and you know, some like, oh, you gotta be big and buff, and others it's, oh, you're not a man unless you're making at least, you know, quarter of a million or a million, just whatever they have in their head, and it's like y'all have missed the boat completely. To me, I have one main example of what a real man is. Now, not the only one, but since I was around him most of my life, up until the age of 23, I was around him every day, which would be my father. To me, he said, like, I wouldn't say, I'm not going to say perfect. Nobody's perfect. To me, he set about the best example of what being a real man is that you can being a human being. To me, like, of all my years, 23, living under the same roof as him, I don't think I ever once heard him. Well, I don't think. I know I never heard him curse. Never heard him say a derogatory word or name to my mom. And yeah, sure, they had like their, you know, disagreements, but as far as I can remember, I do not ever remember him raising his voice to her, calling her any, you know, bad names like talking down on her. Never heard that. And as far as like big arguments and stuff, if they had them, they did it in the privacy of their time. I do not ever recall them ever doing that in front of us children. I mean, to me, that's a real man. I never really heard him complain. If it rained, hey, God sent it for a reason. We need it. If it didn't rain, yeah, he would, like pray for rain and all, but I just never really did hear him like just, oh man, dude, it is so horrible. I cannot believe we haven't had. I do not recall him ever just getting down in the dumps about that kind of stuff. Yeah, I'm sure he had concerns and stuff, but he did not like just get all down and everything. And one of the hardest, probably one of the hardest working people person I know, and was never braggadocious about stuff. Never, as far as I can remember, never really gossip about people. I mean, him and some of his cousins that you know that we're related to, like that generation, those were the guys that I was around, and they're all, as far as I can tell, all pretty much the same. That's just the kind of men they were, and to me, they set the example of what real men were. And then you have these alpha chads and these dudes that you hear them talk and you listen to how they talk to women, calling them the B word. You better listen to me. Like what are y'all doing? Like you really think that how much money you have, like how strong you are and stuff? Yeah, I mean strength and like being assertive and stuff is all a part of it. But your actions speak a lot. People people can know real quick of whether or not you're a real man or not. And I try to live up to, the example that my father and a lot of the guys he grew up and how they, you know, held themselves. And to me, they live better lives than a lot of these guys that you hear that they'll call their wives all kinds of names, talk down on them. like yell at them, raise their voices. I mean, I know it's a two-way street, but I mean, come on, guys. Talking to y'all now. And if my mom's like told us children something, like to do something, we knew better not to go ask dad for a second opinion. It was always, well, what did your mom say? Okay, well, whatever she said, that's what goes, and vice versa. I mean, if he said something and we went to mom, see if we could get a second opinion there. Well, what did dad say? Well, okay, well, whatever he said, that's what goes. But but in today's world, it's like you've got these ultra alpha types, and then you've got these dudes that it's like they're just so aloof. There's no assertiveness, and you see how they raise their children, especially their sons and all. It's like there's no assertiveness. It's like you've gotta assert authority, and you've gotta teach your sons how to be a man too. Like, don't just assume that they're going to know. Yeah, children learn a lot by watching their parents, but you've got to teach them too, and also do things with them that are of the manly type too. You know, I mean, from the time I can remember, if my so we lived out in the country. So for starters, I mean that helped a bunch because we were always doing something. I cannot recall a Saturday that I mean, unless he was sick. I cannot recall a Saturday when he just sat around, read a book or whatever. If he wasn't sick or if it wasn't raining, he was outside cutting the grass. Um, if it was garden time, out in the garden, either tilling the ground or picking crops. Um, Cutting up firewood, or if there was a time we weren't doing nothing, sometimes we'd go fishing, and yeah, I mean he taught us, me and my brother. He was a great example of what a real man was, and every young boy needs a father like that. And in today's world, there's not a whole lot of, you know, fathers really showing their sons how to be a man. I mean, I was always with him, cutting firewood, doing that, and see that's another thing. Like me and my brother, we had chores growing up. So as we're growing, we're being taught, you know, you got to put some effort into stuff. You know, during garden season. I mean, in the summertime when there's no school, we'd be out. You know, I mean, we would have like seven. Oh no, more than that. We might would have between 10, 14 rows of corn, and each of those rows are between 75 and 100 feet long. I mean, you learn responsibility. So, parents, don't be afraid to give your children chores and stuff to do. They need that stuff. And I know people be like, well, kids need to be able to just be kids. Well, no, they also need stuff to do. They don't need to be just idly sitting around. How do you, like, idle minds create, or is the devil's workshop, or whatever that saying is? Like, they need to be started young. I mean, I've seen pictures of me like 3 or 4 helping shuck corn. Now, granted, I probably wasn't made to. I probably just wanted to be there and help. But by the time I was like 6, 7, I mean, I was expected to help, and it was good for me. I'm glad I lived in the country and had parents that, you know, made us do chores and stuff. I mean, we picked corn, green beans, field peas, cucumbers, squash, tomatoes, uh, watermelon, all kinds. We had blueberry trees. And I tell you, as a 14, 15-year old, or over in that area, I would have been like 9 or 10. As a 9 or 10-year old, out there picking green beans with your brother, and you're looking down this row of green beans, and it's like 100 feet long, and you've got like probably had 4 rows of green beans. You're like, oh my word! But it was good for us, and he was always teaching us stuff. I remember whenever he gave my brother an axe to help him chop wood and stuff. I wanted one. I think I was like 6 or 7, but I don't think he let me have one until I was like 8 or 9, and I got like a it was like a short one. It wasn't a full size axe. Hey, I didn't care. I just wanted it to be like them. Go chop down some trees, learn hard work. But today, it's all about these influencers. It's to them, it's like all about, you know, it's almost like a show. And the one of the worst things is, that they're always projecting like they keep saying like, you know, men are programmed to, you know, be with a lot of women. Like almost all these influencers always having a bunch of women hanging around them, and it's like, no, a real man has one woman in his life that he's loyal to. One man, one woman. And so I look at these influencers, compare them to my dad, and it's like, y'all must have both way off. I mean, y'all are totally off. Now, granted, he also was strong, and but that definitely wasn't the gym bro life. I mean, if you've never chopped firewood before, oh, you think you're getting a workout in the gym? Go cut some firewood for, oh, I don't know, a couple of hours. Give it a couple of hours. See how you feel afterwards. Oh yeah, you'll get ripped real quick. I mean, your core muscles, your arms, your shoulders. That's what that saying comes from. Country strong, not gym strong. Country strong. There is a big difference. But yeah, I'm very thankful. You know, he was the type of man that he was. He didn't coddle us. He wasn't mean, but he was, you know, firm and, didn't let us just go all cuckoo like these parents now. Well, it's their life. No, whenever they're under your roof, uh, you have the authority. And a little tip here, young bucks. If you have a rebellious streak in you, wait until you're on your own to let it be known. It will help you in the long run, and it will save you a lot of pain and your parents. I do not get why these guys they're a little rebellious and they've just got to push it, push it, push it, and then they go off the wall. Like you couldn't wait until you're like 19, 20, move out, and then go do your thing. Like part of being a man is starting it early when you're still in your youth. You know, 10, 12, especially when you get in your teenage years. I mean, you just like lackadaisical during those years. You don't pay attention, like the older men around you, how they are, how what being a real man is. I mean, you kind of have a responsibility when you're young. Granted, your father has a responsibility too to show you what being a real man is all about. Honoring your word, being kind to people, being assertive when you need to be, not backing down, having morals, which a lot of these are out the window these days. But yeah, I just been thinking about like, the the difference from what I was shown growing up, what a real man was, to these influencers today. It's a world of difference. And it's not that hard. It's just a lot of times portraying being a real man is just not it's not flashy. And that's the problem with a lot of these alpha males. It's all about them. And they have no problem telling you that they're a real man. Oh man, yes indeed. Woo, they're the real deal. And if you're not measuring up to them, then you're just little old, you know, pee wee of a dude. But of course, I really do believe the country raising helped a lot. Being able to be raised out in the country. I mean, we had a city address, but we didn't live in any town limits. He would take us fishing, creek, neighbor's pond, state lake park. Taught us how to fish, taught us how to cut wood, grow gardens, hauled hay, mowed your grass, take care of your house and your family. Always said thanks at the dinner table. Oh, and we always ate at the dinner table as a family. I know that lifestyle is looked down on a lot, but I'm very appreciative that that's how I was raised. And he taught us, taught us how to play sports. I just always thought that's what a father did. And then I grew up and then I realized, hey, not all fathers care. And it's like, how do you expect your son to grow up to be a man? I mean, granted, if there's other, male relatives and they're, portraying how to be a real man, you can learn from that, but it helps a lot if your father's that way. And he never drove the flashiest vehicles, but we always had a means to get to places. We were always fed, took trips, played games with us. Always, how are you doing on your grades? How are you doing with this? Uh, what did you do to get in trouble at school today? Like being a man is also, if you have kids, being a father that is wanting to know what your child is doing. Not just, oh, it is what it is. I'm sure he's doing good. But yeah, I was just thinking about that today. Just very thankful that I had a father that set a good example of what being a real man was. And I hope I am, following the path that he, showed. You try to. No, always hit the mark, but you know, as long as you give it your best shot, that's what counts. But hopefully, y'all enjoy this episode of SF News. Not really any news today, but I gotta mix it up. But hope y'all are having a good day. I'm not sure if I'm gonna go work out. I don't know. I might rest today and kick it again and tomorrow. Kind of rest on Wednesday. But well, as always, I am Wayne with Gaines, and thanks for watching. Also, thank all of you for subscribing, and hope you continue to subscribe and comment and hit the like button and hit that notification bell. I'm gonna try to start, you know, maybe updating ahead of time on what the topic I'll be talking about. But I hope y'all have a good rest of your evening and God bless. and take care.